Welcome back to the Winning Moments. I'm joined here by two of my favorite people and my co-hosts, Kevin Devaney and Coach Chris Ward. We are now at week 8 of the episodes. In the heart of basketball, there's so much to catch up on. So we're going to dive right into it. Kevin, we have a lot of headlines this week.
How have we made it 8 weeks with Coach Ward? How have we done? Like the energy he came in with today, like I'm actually going to be shocked if we can finish this show with Coach Ward.
I'm really.
Oh no, this isn't the guy that walked in. Now
I'm
you're
really
all
ready to go.
Oh, you're ready to go. You're
yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
I think you're excited for good reason.
And that was pre-espresso.
That was pre-espresso. We're excited for good reason. It is it's the fun part of the season, right? It's the right before the playoffs. It's the push. It's the bracketology push. Where teams are going to be seated in the Section 1 playoffs, boys and girls. Obviously on game day 1, I update that every single day. Your son discovered this. So this is all based off formula. Some people think it's my opinion. But it's all based off formula.
Yeah, who created the formula there,
The
Mr.
formula,
Devaney?
the formula is created by Section 1 Athletics, and it's all sports. It's not my. Every year I remind myself that there's this new like audience, right, that doesn't maybe not know how it all works. But on game day 1, if you go on and you can see the standings every day, it moves a lot. It's going to move a lot in Class AA, AAA, because teams like New Rochelle, White Plains, Mamaroneck, Mount Vernon, they play so many out of section games. So and the seating's only based on your Section 1 games. So when you don't play a lot of games in Section 1, the movement is drastic. So Mount Vernon was like 6th, and they beat Mamaroneck, who was number 1, and they moved to number 3. Mamaroneck still maybe dropped to number 2. So, but they play each other again. They play New Rochelle twice, so there's a lot to go, a long way to go for this. And we're getting ourselves settled into that part of the season, which is like kind of like a sport in itself. The jockeying for seeding, who's going to be home, who are we going to be lined up with. There's a new component this year with what they call the ADL, which is Developmental League, where you have teams that don't play regular leagues, so like Yonkers Schools, East Ramapo, they're not playing in a regular league, so they're playing in developmental leagues. They can still make the playoffs if they qualify. They can't get bonus points. They can't give bonus points. And if they get in, they're automatically the bottom seed. So, like, there's a lot of things that, like, there's a lot of just... There's going to be a lot of monitoring it. It's going to be fun.
So in what week should we have a whole portion of the show about bracketology and how we're getting to the playoffs?
Last week.
Last week, okay.
Last week. No, because it's never too early, right? Especially with the league games. So the league games were kind of at the top of the schedule for some schools. They kept some of the league games. Yeah, so it's an ongoing thing. As I said, there's a lot of coaches who, late in the season, they're like, well, if we win, what's going to happen if we lose? And so I get a lot of those messages. They're not my favorite because I don't love to try and forecast, 50 games, in the final.
So that's a lot.
It's a lot. It's too much. And plus, the other thing is, I don't know who wins. I think I know who's going to win a lot of these games. And then, you look at some scores every day. Every day there's like 1 or 2 scores where I'm like, wow, I'm shocked that they won. There's a circumstance, maybe an injury, maybe something, but yeah, every day there's a couple scores that
it is a game of runs. It's a game of runs.
Yeah,
there seems to be a lot more, John and Kevin, games this year like that. There seems to be a lot more games where you go, oh my God, how did that happen?
Well,
how did so and so beat so and so?
Well, my theory on that, and the reason why I think it happens more now, is that you have individuals on teams that have a higher ceiling than maybe players of the past did. So, like, you have every team you look at, you go through Section 1 and be like, that kid can go for 30, like easily, and that's a change. That's a game changer, right? So, I think of one of the guys on our list today for Player of the Week. Like, all these guys can go out and put up big games that take a loss and make it a win, or they can go the other direction. So it's I think the talent level of Section 1 and Section 1, like it's the great players, the really good players, have a higher ceiling than maybe they've had in years past. And that scoring ability, the 3-point shooting ability. So that changes things dramatically. So, it's because you beat a team, you're going to see a lot of teams split league games this season. And it's going to be fun. It's going to make things interesting and hectic, but great for us.
A lot more parity.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
totally.
A lot more parity.
And the other thing is that talking about great players, there's something going on, like I don't know what it is. It's in the water. I don't know if it's like some sort of post-COVID thing where players maybe got pushed to varsity earlier. This group now, they were in what? So COVID 6 years, they were by middle school.
Yep.
Yes. So like maybe accelerated it. I don't know what it is, but like records, milestones, every single day. Eddie Dorfman becomes Mamaroneck's all-time leading scorer, right? So 1,335 points. Julia Scott goes for 2,000 points. This all happened in a span of a week.
Amazing.
There's like a dozen players, boys and girls, that scored 1,000 points in the last week, and they reached those milestones. Which, listen, I know when it seems like it happens every day, it kind of feels like it's not that big of a deal, but it is. And I'm a big celebrate your success guy.
Well, it's a huge deal because if you just break down 20 games in a season or an average season, right?
Yeah.
You have to be able to play all 4 years. You have 80 games to score 1,000 points.
Yeah.
Right. You're averaging a lot of points, and you think about it as a freshman, you're not starting. Very rarely are you starting 20 games and dropping double digits. I think it's a huge thing.
And girls, don't forget the injury factor with ACLs and everything is high. And I think that's, you do it, the girls that do it, it's even a bigger accomplishment, Coach.
My thing for both of you guys is this. It's kind of ironic. There's an irony here that we start to show this year. I don't ever remember in all the time, I've been here 24 years now, I don't ever remember, John and Kevin, this many 1,000-point, 2,000-point scores in a single year like this year.
In a week. I mean, Arthur Shevik, so then you think to yourself, you're like, oh, well, maybe it's just I'm living in the now and this. No, this does happen every year. So then I look at Fox Lane. So Fox Lane posts Arthur Shevik gets 1,000 career points, and then they posted a graphic. He's the first player at Fox Lane, which is a very good basketball school, since Taj Finger. Taj Finger's been out of high school for 20 years.
22 years.
Yeah, 22 years. So all right, maybe it doesn't happen every day. Maybe at some schools it happens more, but I don't really know. Fox Lane winning, they won a gold ball. They had great players, great talent. Two of their great players are now head coaches. They didn't score without James Morales and at Byron Hills. Nick
Bernard.
Yeah,
at Pleasantville.
They probably scored more in college than they did. So it is. It's you realize that it's impactful. The Section 1 scoring record is going to go down after 43 years, right? Anthony Figueroa
it's amazing.
Is on it. He hasn't played in a week, so he hasn't worked his way up. Jake Pampolina is going to break a record that's 20 years old. I
don't know that we're going to see this again. I think maybe it is coming out of post-COVID. Yeah. Maybe everything that just all that fuel comes to one place, but I don't think we'll see a year I don't think that next year when we're doing basketball that every week we're talking about someone who just broke 1,000 points again.
No,
I don't either.
I think this is a very unique year.
Yeah, no, you said you want me to get a list together. It's going to take me a while because there's a lot. There's a lot of players. But
listen, coaches who are watching, coaches who know other coaches, send us a list of every player that you have that scored 1,000 and players that have the chance to score 1,000. We like to celebrate everybody.
Yeah,
and try to be as many games as we can. So yeah,
absolutely. All right, so you want to do our players of the week?
Yeah, we can go right to players in the week.
Yeah, what do you want to do? It's your show, buddy.
Our show, but I appreciate it. Yeah, right, okay. Let's start players of the week.
All right, players of the week. Let's go with on the boys' side. We'll start at Pleasantville with Declan Bruder. So you guys obviously saw Declan Bruder play this past week against Blindbrook. He had 22 points, 12 rebounds in a loss. He only played the one game, but the week before, late last week, 25 points in a win over Briarcliff. He had 23, 8, 6 assists, 8 rebounds, 6 assists against Irvington. He's among the Section 1 top 10 scorers at 22.6 points per game, and a guy who does it, every possession. You feel like you got to get two guys. You got to get your best defender on him and help. And he was a name that kept popping up on social media as a senior now. And I finally got to really watch him play on a broadcast recently. I was like, he's tough. He's a really tough player.
He's got a lot of grit. I watched him play that entire game. I mean, obviously my son plays for Blindbrook, so I was there the entire time. He's got a ton of grit. He doesn't give up. He's a baller the entire game, and that's something that you see is impressive. From start to finish, he desperately wanted to win that game. We eked out the win, but he didn't give up 1 minute of any possession that he was on that court.
Yeah.
Credit to Coach Nick Benora to understand what coming in a first-year coach, a young coach, understanding what Declan can do. Many times a first-year coach doesn't have the understanding of what that player can be. He had a vision for Declan. He's implemented a system that supports Declan, and they are far different this year than they've been in years past.
They have, and that's a good point because they are 7-5. They only won 6 games last year. He takes over. He has a nice group, but it's the 5, TZ by 5, Dobbs, Westlake, Obama in overtime, and lost to Blindbrook by 2. So
quality losses.
They're this close to being
they're right.
a 10-win team, you know?
Sure.
And TC's undefeated. Obviously, Blindbrook's a top 2-3 team in Class B. These are all bigger schools, so it's impressive what they've done. And I think they play a lot of those teams on the stretch, so they have a chance to go back. But he's averaging 22.6, 7 rebounds. They're a team that could be a second half. We're in the second half now, but down the stretch type team.
They're a dangerous team in postseason. They're going to be a tough out.
They are. Listen, you see coaching different than I see it from the sidelines as a fan,
Right.
but you can tell I felt he did a great job in-game coaching, where that's what kept him in the game. I thought that if you had a different coach, no matter how good Declan was, Blindbrook wins by 15, 20 points in that game.
Yeah.
It was the coaching that kept it really tight. Him and John were going back and forth. A lot of timeouts, ton of timeout plays that they both had to do strategically to keep it that close. And yeah, I'm glad we eked out the win, but this kid's a baller.
Yeah, absolutely. So Declan Brewer is our first Player of the Week nominee. Our next is Henry Shoemaker from Rye. Now, obviously, Henry Shoemaker coming off an unbelievable senior season. Football, Section 1's all-time leading receiver, touchdowns, yards, among the leaders in the state in catches in his career and in the season, state champion. And then, as we said about Carson Miller last week, that to turn the page again to basketball season. So the thing that I liked is that he has 28 points in a win over Mayapack, 61-54 in their only game this week. So it's one game, 28 points. It was a season high. But to me, what I like about Henry Shoemaker is that he's the athlete who picks himself off the floor after they get beat up by Suffern at home on Friday night. And that was a game where, we taped last Friday, and I was thinking to myself, they're going to beat Suffern. Suffern's going to come in the gym. They're going to lock him up. And they got beat up pretty good. And Shoemaker shows you what kind of leader he is to go out and to have his best game of the season by far in the next game against the Mayapack team that's very talented. So to bounce back the way they did, he had 13 points in the win over Roosevelt, guarding Lawrence Aleku, who's 6'9", 330 pounds. So
yes, he is.
He's
every bit of it.
He's they are this Rye team. I said last week they've arrived. They're probably not quite there yet. I might have been a little preemptive on that, but if Henry Shoemaker is going to go out and put up 28 points and play the way he did against Mayapack, Rye is a step closer to where I think they could be down the stretch.
For me, John and Kevin, it goes back to what we just said on air.
Mm-hmm.
Who can step up next?
Yeah.
So Carson Miller last week had a great week. Mm-hmm. Henry steps up this week.
Yeah.
And a testament to the kid to bounce back after taking an embarrassing loss at home and turn around, and they needed every one of his 28 points. 28 of 61. There's nothing else to say.
Yeah, he was. They were overwhelmed by Suffern, which was a little bit. I wasn't going to be surprised if Suffern beat them, but the way they beat them, I was like, wow, that was impressive. So
I think their chemistry is impressive, right? They play football together, right? So obviously the 1-2 punch of Carson and him in a football, game is phenomenal, and that's why they have all the records.
Yeah.
But as you're right, as they get their sea legs back for their basketball legs and their basketball wind, that connection I think is going to help them go on the run that they need to go to get to that playoff run.
Absolutely. Next player for our Player of the Week is Arthur Shevik from Fox Lane. Mentioned him going over 1,000 career points. He did it in a loss to Horace Greeley. He had 26 points in a 49-47 win over Lakeland on Tuesday. He's averaging just under 20 points per game. He's a terrific scorer on a Fox Lane team that's had some ups and downs. It's been a rough season for them, but he's kind of their constant. He's the focus of every defensive game plan
Yes,
that he
he
goes
is.
against. And listen, I think he to me when I watch him, he doesn't have quite the frame, but man, if he grows and gets bigger, he could probably be a better college player than a high school player if he continues to develop. So I've been impressed with him. And again, Max Catrone from North Salem going over 1,000 career points this week with two of the most recent guys. As we said, it's been happening a lot, and it's still impressive when they do it.
Yeah, but in this case, 22 years.
Yeah,
It hasn't happened at school in 22 years. And you just mentioned in earlier, it's like James Morales, a phenomenal basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
Did better in college, which is strange when you think about it. You're dominant in high school to make it to college and play college ball.
Yeah.
The fact that you got better in college, we talked about it before the show with Chris Ward Jr. In high school, he was a boy, and then all of a sudden, he's a grown man dominating other grown men, and sometimes you need that weight, or you need that weight room and that ethic. So it's a different game.
Absolutely. Arthur Shevik, First of all, people that don't know who Taj Finger is, Taj Finger played at Stanford University and played.
Yeah.
Was a player for them. Mike Tomasi, his head coach, and Taj Finger went to the Final Four. Went to Glens Falls, went to the Final Four. So he's following in big footsteps. I love Arthur's game, John and Kevin. Yeah. I just love the way the kid plays. He plays the right way. So for 1,000-point score for me as a coach, to see him take the right shots, attack the basket, look to score, and then, like he did at the county center, make the right basketball plays and spray it to his teammates.
Yeah.
There's no doubt he's a college level player. I hope he goes to college because I think he gets in the weight room, goes to college. He's going to be a hell of a college player.
Yeah. Knockdown shooter that he is. So yeah, it's a lot of room for growth for him as well. And he's had a great high school career. I'm going to give you a bonus one. I didn't put this on our list, but
okay.
Darius Ratliff from Stepanak, he beat IMG. He has 17 points, 9 rebounds, 6 blocks. Game MVP. He had 18 and 13. We've seen Darius Ratliff from Stepanak just, 7-footer and out on the perimeter to start the season. They really needed him inside to be a force in the paint, and he was, and he has been the last 2 games. So to me, that's just a sign of great maturity from him and accepting a role that maybe, it's beautiful, man. You want to be a 7-footer, 3-point shooter. No one's going to get a hand in your face. And he realizes for Stepanak to win and compete and go for that 4th championship, he's got to be that type of player, and he's accepted it. So good for him.
John, Kevin, I think this started happening for him asserting himself more on the interior at the county center.
Second half, yeah, absolutely right.
Second half of the Iona prep game.
Yeah.
And we had that conversation, John, and I did with him, Kev, where we said to him, you were the difference in the second half from the interior. And I think that he understands with his brother on limited minutes and all that stuff, he's got to be a force in the paint for them. And by the way, that's a huge win.
Yeah. Maybe the best win they've ever had in the regular season. Yeah.
Like we said off air, they've been so close this year.
Yeah.
With Paul Sixth and Montverde, and for them to beat an IMG national team.
Their dad, Theo Ratliff, was a multi-time top 5 vote getter for Defensive Player of the Year. He was like a rugged interior player
and a rebound machine.
Yeah, totally. So
listen,
they have it in them. The DNA's there.
Yes,
but if he didn't come to the interior in the second half of that game at the county center, I don't know if Stepanak would have won that game.
Iona was so hungry.
They were hungry. They were going at it. Good for him. So now we're at the point. Let's start with Coach, since Kevin threw the bonus in there. Who is your player of the week for the boys this week, Coach?
Well, I'm going to go with Arthur Shevik and Coach Mike Tomasi at Fox Lane. I'm hoping to see them tomorrow versus Suffern. Mm-hmm. It should be an interesting game over in Bedford, but I'm going to go with him. First 1,000-point scorer in the last 22 years at Fox Lane on the boys' side.
Yep.
And he's my player of the week.
Cool.
All right, Kevin?
I'm going Declan Bruder from Pleasantville. Just impressive just to see, it's hard coming in with a new head coach, new system. Even if it seems like things have been kind of focused around him, he's kind of taken and ran. So I give him a lot of credit for the season he's had and just been able to take himself from being like a very good player to being one of the elite players in the Class B.
I completely agree. And that kid is a baller. It was fun to watch him, and I'm glad he only had 22 points agagt Blindbrook and not 25
anymore. It'd be trouble
because that would have been the difference for us in that game.
We'd be crying on Friday morning right now.
No, but it was good. All right, moving along to the player of the weeks for the girls this week.
For the girls, let's go on the girls' side. So we go to the player by the name of Julia Scott from Albertus Magnus. So we have gone almost out of our way to not give her player of the week every week because her numbers are always so good. But this is a hard one to ignore. 2,000 career points scored now for Julia Scott. She is on the verge of becoming Rockland County's all-time leading scorer, a record that's stood for 26 years. So great season for her, obviously. 35 points, 18 rebounds, 6 blocks against Austin. He had 21 and 17 on the road against Rye, and that was after she had, in the 2,000 career point game, she had 34 points, 19 rebounds against North Rockland. She is just prolific. I mean, she's just, it's a pleasure watching her play, watching her work, watching her get her team involved. and just be an unselfish player. To me, it's a little unfortunate that most people may have only seen her play that one time. It was at the county center against Olivia Vicosa, who's going to go play at UConn, another post player, and they sort of like canceled each other out in a lot of ways, and they realized that one's going to defend the other really well. So like we got to get our team, whoever's team was going to win the game,
right?
And the Christ King team was just better. I mean, that's just really what it comes down to. So she is a special talent.
She's outstanding. She's very skilled, John, Kevin. I think we all agree on that. To score 2,000 points, I can't even imagine the amount. It's just an overwhelming number for anybody. It's a credit to Pat Buckley and his staff for how they developed her. I think with regard to her going on to Clemson, the separator for her will be, because she does have a good shot, she has a good stroke, she's going to have to, when she sees like size, when she steps out and hits the three, it will make her an even tougher matchup when she gets to college.
No, she's going to work at it.
Absolutely.
She's definitely a capable shooter, but sometimes now it's like with Albertus, it's just like they just want to step on team's neck early, and
you go
just go right inside. There's no one that can stop her.
Why would Pat do anything else? I give it to her every day. Absolutely.
But so they have Morris. We're going to talk about this in our games. They have Morris Catholic next week, who's dominant.
They're very good. Yep.
From Northern Jersey, so that'll challenge her in the way. We'll see.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, like, you look at these stats you're talking about, right? She averaged a double-double in this Player of the Week side. And to your point, like, it's one thing to score 2,000 points. That's an achievement. It's one thing to score a lot of points that we're talking about. But basically averaging 18 rebounds.
Yeah, 30
like,
instead. Yeah, 13, 18. Yeah.
That's a dog on the boards.
Yeah. No,
right? Like, that's not easy. I don't care how tall you are. That's still, you're getting beat up on those rebounds. She's getting hit every rebound. Right? That's a dog right there.
Yeah, totally.
She's relentless on the glass now. She goes after it. She attacks the rim and she attacks the ball. And that will serve. That's going to serve Albertus Magnus well, and it will serve Clemson University very well as well.
Our next player. So we started with the player who's well regarded and pretty clearly the best player in Section 1. We go to some players who people don't really know that well. Sadie Manila from Sleepy Hollow. So this is a player that I've kind of kept an eye on because she's 8th grade.
She's not even in high school.
Not even in high school. So she's not at Sleepy Hollow High School. She's at what's the middle school?
It's Sleepy Hollow Middle School. I think it's Sleepy Hollow Middle School.
There's a school down the street that I think about.
The elementary school.
Yeah. So she's in 8th grade. But she's part of a really good group. We're going to play this tape in 5 years because this group that's coming through is very, very talented. Yep. You know them all, Coach Ward. She had 24 points on Tuesday in a win over Saunders. She had 19 on Friday against Valhalla. The team's 9-4. They're in the ADL. They're in the Developmental League. But they're a team that, they're going to get in the playoffs. And as long as they get like the right seed, they're going to be the last seed. But like they could definitely give a little scare to some of these teams in the middle of the pack in Class A. So she's my next player, but you don't get many 8th graders mentioned on this show. So she's worthy.
She's the first. She's the first for Player of the Week. 8th grade. She's not even in high school.
13 years old.
So full disclosure, when I saw the name today, I've worked with Sadie now for the last 3 years, I think. Unplanned.
Yeah.
This was unplanned. And her dad and her fantastic mom, great family. I'm so happy for her. Her development, I'm so proud of her.
Well, they're the perfect. So, like, I know people say, like, oh, developmental league, and, why are they, Sleepy Hollow gets played easier. This is exactly the type of team and program that this league was kind of created for. There's a couple others, maybe I don't want to mention them, but they're just too young to be playing varsity basketball games.
Yes.
And like I watch a couple of them pretty consistently, and like on possession by possession, they can hang. But then you look and it's like you stretch out over 4 quarters and it's like they're not, they need time. Like they're just too young. There's a lot of teams in Section 1. There's multiple teams in Section 1 I can think of that don't start any seniors, right? So, and we're talking about teams that start multiple freshmen. I think it's just like a little bit of the turnover of talent in girls basketball. Sleepy Hollow is one of those teams where they're really their best talent is 8th and 9th grade, and I know they have a 6th grader who's we're not going 6th grade.
Which is
I know who 6th grader is.
She's going to be amazing.
She's going to be fantastic as well.
I mean, listen,
we know her as well too.
There's no culture either. Meaning like during the day, like when we played high school ball, you're seeing your friends you played ball with, you're talking about the game later. You're in the same building and having those conversations.
Yeah.
You have an 8th grader who doesn't have that actual off court connection to come out there, which is one thing about Section 1 sports I found fascinating is that 8th graders could play.
Yeah.
Like in New York City, you can't do that. You're not in the high school, therefore you're not playing. But to be in 8th grade, drop 24 points, 19 points here, and be part of that class is fun.
And what I'm most proud of with her is she plays and does it the right way.
Yeah, no, she's very mature. I watched a little bit of her clips. She's got a lot of maturity in her game, which is impressive.
She'd better. Her father and she better have that.
Do you expect less her coming out of the Chris Ward basketball system?
No,
I mean, come on.
absolutely not.
Down at the House of Sports.
Best system in
Absolutely.
Westchester.
Next player for our girls' player of the week is Michaela McLaughlin from Portchester, another team that's not high on the radar for teams, but Michaela's awesome. 25.3 points per game this season is not something to just ignore. She's only a sophomore. She had 22 points in a win over LaFell. She's a Division I player. She has Iona University's offered, Lemoyne, St. Peter's have offered. That momentum is going to pick up over the course of the summer
as a sophomore.
As she continues to. I think she has a chance to become even more athletic. When I watch her game, and I'm like, man, I think she's going to get faster and stronger. When you see kind of like the way she moves around the court, she's got a lot of talent. She's a tough player. And listen, she's playing at Portchester, she's playing with mostly girls who don't play year round like the way she does. And she's the focus of every defense. And so I give her a lot of credit. She's hanging in, and she's putting up big numbers.
Hauntingly similar to another young lady from Portchester several years back.
Yep. Kaylee Heckel. Yeah, Heckel. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and she went to go play at USC, and then she went to go play at UConn. And she's fantastic. So yeah, it's very similar in that you watch the game and you watch Portchester play, and you're like, whoa, who is this? Like that. The drill, just the way they handle the ball is different. So I think Michaela has a chance to really be a great player, and we'll see if Portchester's program is supporting cast around her needs to probably put more time in like she does, but she does. She's a year-round player. She plays New York Extreme, and she's excellent.
But I think we talked about it before the show in our pre-show warm-up. Is like when you're the best player on a team that's not so good, it's so much harder to score points. Coaches are analyzing you. You're getting double teamed or triple teamed. Like
it's also the mental side.
It's hard.
The mental side is tough. And you see girls, especially young girls, if she's only a sophomore, who might struggle with the looking at the scoreboard and being like, oh, we're down 20-6. So, like that just like deflates. And she doesn't let her. I mean, they're playing a more competitive schedule for the program. I think she's handled things very, very well to this point.
Listen, with her dropping 25.3 points, they're never down 20-6.
No,
because this girl's balling.
Yeah,
definitely. All right, Kevin, who you got? Who's your player of the week?
Let's go with Michaela. I think I was impressed. I mean, I had heard the name, and then I watched the game, and I was like, she's good. I mean, she's really talented. I saw some other clips online, and I was just like, man, she does a lot, creates a lot on her own. You're gonna go Sadie. Let's just say it. Come on. Let's not even pretend.
I'm very close to the parents, very close to the young lady and been a part of her development for the last almost 3 years now. I'm gonna go with Sleepy Hollow's Sadie Manella.
Poor
Julius. I know.
Scott can't catch a break.
She scored 2,000 points. Apologies to Pat Buckley and Julius Scott.
Yeah. She's a good sport.
In fairness, this show is tough. I mean, Anthony Figueroa dropped 43 points 1 week, and you guys, we're not choosing him either, right? He dropped
barely
45
above his
points.
average.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, so yes, it takes a lot more than scoring to get these guys to vote for you. And if you watched all 8 episodes, 7 of these where we have players of the week, you can start to see the bias of Coach and Kevin. And let's see if you guys
John
can
Lim,
choose
what
who's
bias are we talking
why
about?
would
There's
he
no
not be
bias. Plus, I can't.
Why would you not be biased and there's no bias?
Why not? The girls.
Plus, there's 2 ways to spell that. So I don't even know what that
They're not coming into his deli. They're coming in to make him better at basketball. Like that's the whole point of this, So
absolutely.
And this is that's why they're on the list. So.
And not for nothing though. I think if we analyze all the players that are on the list over the season, I'm gonna do this at the end of the season. I'd say that the majority of them have come through the Chris Ward basketball program. So
some of them we've had a
something is working over there, Kevin.
Part of their
for the last 20
development. We've assisted in their development. So we're very proud of that.
And you do a phenomenal job with that. Okay, Now, because it's a team game, it's not just the individual game here. We're not playing tennis yet. So let's go with teams of the week for the boys, Kevin.
I'm going to start with Mount Vernon. So Mount Vernon goes on the road and beats Mamaroneck, the team they lost to in the Section 1 playoffs last year that denied them the chance to go to the county center for like the 30th year in a row. And it is impressive, not just that they beat Mamaroneck, but how they beat Mamaroneck. They beat them in a comeback, in a close game down the stretch. They made all the right plays down the stretch. They executed a full court pass. They're up 2. Mamaroneck's going for the steal, going for the on the inbound. They're trying to get a foul, and they went right over the top. Great pass, great finish. Zion Watkins had 20 points in the win. I was just impressed with how Mount Vernon handled the moment, the big game. I think this is a Mount Vernon team that has a little bit of hunger that maybe the last few seasons that they didn't quite have. They don't like that somebody else is considered the gold ball favorite. And Caden Tyler, Zion Watkins, this whole team. You know, I watched them in the first half against Iona Prep when they played at Iona Prep, and I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, Mount Vernon might be the best team. And then second half just kind of fell off. And that's a credit to Iona Prep, the shot-making ability of Iona Prep, and the ability for them to handle the press that most teams can. And I still think that the potential for this Mount Vernon team is still really high. It's gold ball high. And that win kind of validated that. So they are 8-3 in the season, 4-1 in Section 1. They have White Plains on Saturday in the Coaches versus Cancer event that they're going to play at home. You know, they have 2 games left against New Rochelle. They play Mamaroneck at home on February 5th. So they have some challenges ahead of them. But even if they don't go undefeated the rest of the way, like they're right there. They're right in the mix. And Mount Vernon being right in the mix for a gold ball is not breaking news.
It's not. But I want to say this because I think it gets lost. Bob Cimino makes it look so easy, John and Kevin, and it's not that easy.
Not. Yeah.
It's not
his
that
birthday,
easy.
by the way. It was somebody's coach's birthday.
Happy birthday, Coach Cimino. He's probably gonna have a nice Merlot and a pasta meal possibly for his birthday. I would assume.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Coach Cimino. But it's not easy, and he makes it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that he's able to adjust to the personnel he has, and the way that he's able to change their type of play, it's a credit to him, but it's also a credit to the staff and the kids, because the kids absolutely trust him and believe in him.
Yeah.
The whole staff. I mean,
Everybody.
Gary Bryant, Brian Brown, the whole
fantastic.
staff is so
And they've been there forever.
Yeah, they've been former players.
Listen,
know?
that's how you know it was so hard to play against Coach Ward in a coach's battle. He not only analyzes your entire team, but he analyzes your personal life, what you're most likely going to have on your birthday for dinner. He's got you all
Nice
mapped
red
out,
wine.
guys.
I know Coach Cimino. I have a pretty good idea what he's going to have for his birthday.
Yeah.
Coach knows coaches. That's
They
gonna
play
be
tonight.
his
They play
t-shirt.
Ketchum tonight, and then they have White Plains tomorrow. So he'll probably get to bed early for the big event they're hosting.
Yes.
4 games, which
Yes.
we'll talk about later.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. That's first. Next is Poughkeepsie, another team. So they're leaving Section 1 after this year first. They're going back to Section 9, where they've been in Section 1 a long time. Then they were in Section 9 for a couple of years. They won a section championship. I think they won 2 section championships in Section 9. Came back to Section 1. They won a state championship. But it is, I don't think this was a basketball decision. This was a all-sports decision. Get more competitive games, less travel, being in Section 9 and other sports. So I think I understand the move. It's unfortunate, but their basketball team just might win one on the way out because they're 11-2, the number 2 team in Bracketology on game day 1 in the standings. One of their losses was to Kennedy Catholic, which was a game that I still look back on it. I'm like, Kennedy's good. They got beat up in that game. It was at Eastchester in the championship of the tournament. So a little bit surprised in that, but the other loss was at Mayapack. They lost by 4, and Mayapac's a really hard place to win. This guard duo of Tyrone DuBose and Victor Nelson, these are veteran players who've been around. And Poughkeepsie is always going to be a challenge. And the other thing is, Poughkeepsie, they keep winning, and their schedule's going to set up for they might be home for 2 games to go to the county center, which is not going to Poughkeepsie is borderline impossible.
You better believe it.
So it is one of the great, maybe the greatest outside of Tappan Zee. I would say the biggest home court advantage is having to be a host, and they're on the road to do that.
That place rocks.
Yeah,
It'll be sold out for 2. If they go 18-2, it'll be sold out both games. it will be bedlam. And then you got to drive, let's say from our area, drive an hour and change.
Yeah.
Go up there
on that bus.
Not on the coach now.
Yeah.
You're going
Well, they have two
on the
games.
big yellow one.
So they play Greeley on the road at Greeley on Friday night tonight, which during recording. Then they have Yorktown twice left, and then Arlington is another game. So and the margin in Double A, these teams that suffer and Rye, all these teams are so close.
Razor
But
thin.
if they are able to get the top 4 seed in 2 home games, look out. It's going to be tough.
Just make sure you save us some seats. We'll be there.
That'll be good. Yes.
I think, listen, they got beat up by Kennedy. Speaks to what we talked about.
Sebastian Jackson. Yeah.
Sebastian Jackson.
Yeah.
He's a
They went off. They went off in that game. So
and what we said 2 weeks ago about the CHS AA being what it is. And they're at a lower level too, and they're really, really good.
Yeah, totally. So that is my second team. My third team in the my team of the week is Hastings. And Dylan Heilicke put on one of the great sequence. So not only did he have 3 incredible dunks, he had them all in a row. And it was amazing on Saturday. It was a fast break. It was an alley-oop was one. He got called for hanging on the rim on the other one, but he was basically trying to save himself from falling on his back. That was just kind of a bug. I hate that call.
I don't like that call.
No, me neither. I mean, just let him play.
Let him play. Let him play.
So then that was that. And then he had a third dunk. But he has really continued to develop. And I love seeing kids develop from year to year, but in season development. And you could tell when kids are putting work in outside of practice and doing stuff. And he's continued to get better. He's extremely unselfish. He had maybe his best player of the year may have been an assist on a game-winning basket. They beat North Salem at the buzzer on the road. Hard place to go play. And this past week, he had 3 of the 4 losses, by the way, are also against larger schools. They lost in Nanuet, Yorktown, and Pearl River. So 15 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists against North Salem in that win. 16 points, 7 rebounds against Haldane. 19 and 10 against Irvington on Saturday. So he has them, Hastings, kind of right there in Class B as being that 4th team.
I saw them live, John and Kevin versus Nanuet. I was at that game. Our friend AJ Gibbs was officiating that game. And so I was watching that game. I'm very impressed. I think he's a college player.
Yeah.
I think that you know obviously he gets into a college, John, where he gets weight training, but he's skilled, he's long, he just needs the strength. I can't believe how long they are.
Yeah. Oh, they're big.
They're
a matchup.
They're a matchup issue.
Yeah.
They're a real issue. They got the 6'7" kid, and Chris has done a nice job with them. Roll's done a good job with them. Their staff. They're really a. I would not want to see them.
No.
In postseason.
No, absolutely not. They are. They're good. I mean,
And Dylan can play. And Dylan can play.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
so
that assist. Excuse me. Just one more thing. That assist to have the composure, John, to make that play.
Yeah.
With time running out and have the composure and court awareness to make that pass.
easy layup. I mean, the pass created an easy layup. And
Absolutely.
He was, every kid wants that shot, right? Everyone wants to make that game.
I thought he was going to shoot it,
and
he
he
turned.
for sure he'd force a shot.
Absolutely.
So
I was just going to say that. It's easy to track the stats of the scores, right? Because, we're a scoring game these days, right? So ever since Steph 3 points, we're a scoring game. But to track the X factor of the game, the playmakers, there are guys who just want to score, and there are guys who want to win. We talked about it earlier.
Right.
And to make a play like that, you're a winner.
Yeah.
You're a straight baller. And almost a double-double all week long tells you that he's a straight baller. And 3 dunks in a row is pretty impressive.
that was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that on SportsEngine. I'm going.
Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't even close. He went to work.
He threw those down.
He threw them down.
Yeah. All right, let's start with Kevin. Who's your vote?
I'm gonna go Mount Vernon. I just think Mount Vernon has kind of taken that next big step. They got that marquee win on the road at Mamaroneck. And that's going to go a long way in seeding. They might, they should, as long as they don't stumble down the stretch here too much, they can lose another game. But they could be a top 4 seed. Got to go to Mount Vernon to go to the county center, which wasn't the case last year, and might have been their undoing. So, we'll see.
It's actually interesting when we talk about Mount Vernon, basically royalty. The idea of Mount Vernon not going to the county center is insane. Who you got?
I've been here a long time. That was the first time it's ever happened since I've been here 24 years. My team of the week is at a place where I started my coaching career and met a young Kevin Devaney many years ago. Hastings High School, Cochran Gymnasium. I'm going with Hastings High School and the Yellow Jackets as my team of the week this week.
I would tell you the story. I would tell you the story
I
about.
still feel you're young Kevin Devaney.
I'm yeah.
He's old now.
He's still young.
Yeah, young Chris Ward as well. I remember thinking, I walked in that gym and I was like, who the heck is this guy? I was like, whoa, this guy is different. And then I got his story and friends ever since.
Now, did you get that right when you walked in, or did you wait till like the first time he screamed before the jump ball even happened and watch him?
He was
Spider-Man on the court.
So
He's Spider-Man on the
intense.
court. That's
You
what
see,
he is.
remember we talked about the way he walked in here today? Like he kind of walked in with intensity in that game. He was like, he kind of was like snorting, like he had like steam coming out. He was ready to go for a 11 a.m. game at Pelham in the old gym at Pelham. Remember that old terrible
Yes,
gym?
sir.
They still have that gym.
Where the balcony up top.
The pit.
The
It's called
pit.
The pit. Yeah, and you beat Pelham that day. I remember.
Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
'Cause you beat everybody that year.
Except
Well, that's see, like you bring up the law. Why do you bring up the one loss? That you
because
have
that's
as
what coaches do. You know that.
I know.
That's
I
what
don't,
they
I don't
do.
bring it up.
But
No.
genetic,
Celebrate the wins.
but genetics and environment created my persona.
Leave it at that.
It's just that's it. Genetics,
at that.
genetics and environment.
All right.
Genetics environment. And if you don't know where Coach is from, he'll be happy to tell you. Okay. If you don't know where Coach is from, then you've never actually talked to Coach for more than 5 minutes of his life.
Yeah.
Okay. He is a product of
Somerville, South Carolina, the east side. Greenhurst, Miles Road.
All right, listen, and on that note, we are going to move to the girls.
The
team
girls
of the
side.
week. Yeah.
All right, girls team we never talk about. Maria Regina, coach Bobby Lynn Toscano. In her third season, they're undefeated. They're 9-0. Most recently, knocked off St. Vincent's Ferrer. They're in the A division, which is the third level, and they're excellent. I mean, I know they've scrimmaged a bunch of Section 1 teams in Class A. Scrimmaged, I know they scrimmaged Ardsley and other teams surrounding, and they're good. This group that they have, led by Kalani Sutherland, who's, talking to Coach Toscano, said is a college level player, and sort of her challenge right now is like getting these girls to believe, like, no, you're talented. So it's hard in Mary Regina because they play in the lower divisions, but they also don't get like so much notoriety. She's a 5'10" senior. She's averaging 15 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists per game. Versatile player, could play kind of multiple positions. Division III, couple Division II schools interested in Kalani. Also, Abigail Carey, she's averaging 17 points per game to go along with 4 and 4, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Lights out shooter, just continues to get more confidence. And another one who Coach Toscano said could play at the next level. Emma Yonkers-Talls, only a sophomore varsity, came to varsity last year as a point guard. She's averaging 10 and 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and just sort of kind of makes things happen, and great defensive player. Then Kira Higgins is the other one, and she's just an excellent defensive player, coachable player. Coach Toscano leans on her a lot. She says she's got a nice, top to bottom, this roster is very good. And as I said, I think that they were in Class A in Section 1. They'd be right there with the top teams, Tappan Zee, all those teams. So they've come along this year and developed very well.
Credit to Coach Toscano for getting Maria Regina righted and getting them going in this direction. If I'm a college coach at the D2 level, D3 level, and I see Kalani Sutherland as a 5'9" skilled player, and doing all the things that she's done on the floor and has that all around game, I have to recruit her.
Yeah. No, she's.
I have to recruit her,
and just the improvements, and So the thing about Maria Regina over the years is that they've typically had like individual, like really like a dominant scorer, and it's the team around them may not, but this looks like the best team that maybe they've had in some time.
There was a young lady I worked with. The name I can't come up with a name that I worked with years ago. She averaged like 27, 28, but it was just her.
Yeah.
To your point,
Yeah,
and that's how it's always been. They've always said, John, they've always had one really good player, and then the 4 girls were, just
usually athletes, other soccer
just
players,
multi-sport
So,
athletes. She's done a good job of bringing in basketball players.
No, totally, no, absolutely. So they've had a great season. The team to me right now that is just like, whoa, was Nyack this past week. So Kervin's Fertilis, head coach, and I, we chatted throughout the course of the season, and they're winning, and I saw them winning some close games early on, low-scoring games. Now, I go back just quickly to last season. I watched they played Panis in the Section 1 quarterfinals at Panis. Panis is defending two-time section champions. And Penance goes up, blitzes them early, gets up by like 25 points. And that team that they had with Tavares and Case Nicholas, just unbelievable. And then Nyack started coming back, and you're like, whoa, like this, they put their bench in, and you're like, who are these girls? Like, who are these? They were excellent. They had to put the starters back in for Penance in the fourth quarter just because it got within 10, and they held them off. And I was like, I got to remember, like, Nyack might be pretty good next year. They're undefeated, only undefeated team left in Section 1, 11-0. Casey Cummings, she's they have this incredible lacrosse program that they've built in Nyack, and Casey Cummings is one of the main stars of that team. She's going to play lacrosse at Syracuse. Rakia Muhammad improved, just about, post player, just under 6 feet. So they've had this great year, and I'm like, well, Nyack's undefeated. Let's see what happens when they play, the meat of their schedule. They go to Clarkstown South the other day, and I turned the game on SportsEngine, and I had to like zoom in and make sure. I was like not believing the score. 81-52, they beat them. And
wow.
So 24 points for Cummings. Cornell had 21 points. Maya Cornell had 21 points. Muhammad had 17. Maddie Pesky was just terrific on defense. And they took down Clarkstown South on the road. And like South has kind of been like my team in AA. I talk about Rye, and I'm like, well, South's going to be there because Carly Vos is so good. Nyack is a better team, like all top to bottom. Then they followed up with the next day, beating Pleasantville, which is down in Class A. But again, what I love most is just the balance of these three with Cornell, Maya Cornell, Rakeem Muhammad, and Cummings, all just right around 16, 17, 18 points every game. They work well together. They're kind of like a team. They're all the pieces fit. And when I watched those two, and I watched most of the South game, and then I watched some of the Pleasantville game, I was like, maybe Rye isn't some runaway team here in AA and girls. I think Nyack might actually give them a chance. Give them a shot. You get to the county center. If Nyack could do it. Now, it's hard in girls basketball, more than maybe in a sport. When you've never done it before, it's hard to do it. Right, Coach?
Yes. It's like, if Nyack gets there, and obviously, and credit to Coach Fridelis and his staff, they're undefeated. They seem like they have everybody in sync.
Mm-hmm.
It's different if you haven't been there to walk in that building and play
mm-hmm.
there. So, however, they seem to be the best matchup for Rye. Like they match up the best with anybody in class. They're the ones that could possibly give Rye, John, Kevin a run for their money.
Yeah, and they obviously these two programs know each other from lacrosse. I mean, they're the elite level lacrosse programs in the state and in their class outside of Long Island. And they've met each other in the lacrosse championship. Nyack beat them. So yeah, it's
I'm sure there's no love lost between the two schools.
The female sports, these schools are impressive.
I think the county center has two major advantages, right? One, if you have some quick guards, it opens the floor more, so you have more space. But you're right. If you've never played there before, I saw it last year with Blindbrook versus Woodlands. Like, we came out, and those kids at Blindbrook never played at the county center, right?
Yeah.
Tyler, Nico, none of them played at the county center. So coming out of that game, they were, I'm not going to say not scared, but they were deers in headlights, missing easy layups, making easy turnovers, and then you can't afford that against a team that's used to playing there and that is better than you. You can't afford to make those mistakes. So you're absolutely right. Like, once you get there, the lights are it's just a different place.
No, totally.
You have to keep your composure, and you have to just focus on execution.
Yeah,
to neutralize that effect.
Totally. Our third team for our team of the week. I'm going to go stay in Rockland County and go to Pearl River, just down the road. Pearl River. So this is it's impressive what they've done. So they've won 3 games in a row. They're 7-3 overall. This is a team that, like, before the season, I don't want to say I wrote them off, but I just felt like now is not the time. Like, it's just not this year. Down the road, they'll compete because 8 of their 12 players are freshmen or sophomores, which is a pretty incredible stat.
That's very young.
And so Coach Chris Woolgar, who's a veteran coach, obviously Lorraine Moylan, who's his assistant, who was a legendary coach. They had this group of just young girls who just never played varsity basketball a significant time. They have a couple players who have played, who've seen some time, but not to this level. And they're just kind of finding a way, and they're doing it with defense. 37.8 points per game since January 1st, so they turned the calendar to the new year, and they have just been a lockdown defensive team. And Coach Bulgar, who just has nothing but amazing things to say about Coach Moylan, using her old press that she used to have, full court pressure. They got up 14-0 on Ardsley the day before Ardsley. I think, and this may not be totally accurate, but there wasn't many shots for Ardsley, and they're up 14-0. So Pearl River. But again, young team. Ardsley came back. I mean, I think it was 14-12. So it goes to show you that they have it in them, and it's going to be about like time is only going to help them get better. But they have another couple weeks for the end of the season. Kate Dempsey, a 3-year varsity player. She's only a sophomore. For varsity starter, Kate Duffy's only a junior. Katie Donahue's the only senior on the team. All 9 players in the team are multi-sport athletes, which is only going to help them. I think that it helps them while they don't have basketball experience. They have kind of like game experience in all other sports. They know how to compete.
Very important.
Yeah, and it's like they really accept coaching. And Coach Bulgar, he harps on certain stats as a coach. 18.5 steals per game. 20.8 deflections per game. So, Coach, who keeps deflection stats?
Coach Woolgar does, and Coach Moylan, she's a legend over there at Pearl River. I love it. They've done the same thing, obviously, that the Scarsdale girls have done. They've hung their hat on defense. Because of their youth. Okay, so what's the one constant? The one constant is we can defend. So whether the ball goes in the basket or not, we're going to defend. The other thing is they must be extremely anticipatory with regard to steals. They're in the right position. Yeah. They're playing defense the right way. 18.5 steals. And then, of course, Coach Patino does this at St. John's, the deflections. 20.8 deflections per game is a tremendous stat line.
Yeah, no, totally. And Dempsey's averaging 10.2 points. Katie Duffy's 8.2 points in the last 5 games. The balance is there. That's the thing with sometimes in girls basketball. Teams like the top teams rely so much on one player, and this team doesn't need to do that because they have the depth. Everyone basically plays, like everyone on the team plays, and they rely on everybody, and they all kind of fit the same mold. And I got to catch them in the second half against Byram Hills a few weeks ago, and I was like, man, this team is like relentless defensively.
But I think that's the point you said about like molding. 18.5 steals per game as a team. Everyone has to be active. That's not one player like you're scoring 25 points, 30 points. Everybody has to be active on that ball. Active hands, active feet, constantly moving. And you're right. Like the fact that when I saw this, I thought you made a mistake with your typo over here. Deflections. I was like, what is he talking about? And the fact that we keep it deflections per game, I think, is amazing, Coach. So let's start with Coach. In this case, who is your team of the week?
Because it's around the corner from my house, literally, I'm going to go with Bobby Toscano's Maria Regina team. It's probably the best team that they've had in ever.
Yeah.
As far as overall basketball talent, they have a chance to probably do very well in postseason in CHSAA. So I'm going to go with Maria Regina and Coach Toscano as my girls' team of the week.
Well, I haven't picked the Rockland team yet, so I'm going to go with Nyack.
Here we go.
Which is like the capital of Rockland County, I think, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's the gateway to the rest of Rockland County.
It is, yeah. So it's Nyack's the town you drive in through first, right? So
absolutely.
Nyack is my team. I was so impressed with what they did. I love Pearl River too. I mean, I think the Pearl River thing. Before we wrap on the girls' side, watching Pearl River this week, I watched them beat Ardsley, as you said, at home. And I can't tell you the level of respect that I have for Madison Borstein, right? So Madison Borstein is a returning starter from a state championship team who early in her career tears her ACL. So she tears her ACL, and it's obviously a physically difficult thing. It's probably mentally tougher on a female who just wants to go out and ball, right? So she comes back. I remember watching her. She had this giant knee brace, and it was very, it kind of slowed her down. And she's a point guard. And so she comes back and she says, you know what? I need to play. Either it's now or never, right? For her as a basketball player. So sophomore year, she comes out and she has a great sophomore year. They come back as juniors. They win the state championship. Yep. Unbelievable, right? Yes. Just a great thing. And it's like all that great and all the I don't say breaks, but positive things happened in their favor, seeding wise, matchup wise, game wise. They blitz teams and upset. And nothing has gone right her senior year. I mean, it's like nightmares. So Leah Burris, out with the torn ACL before the season even starts. Dylan Paley, out 2 weeks into the season, 3 weeks into the season, torn ACL. The two of them are on the bench. Both of them, I've seen pictures of the two of them with crutches and knee braces on. So Madison's the only player back that really saw significant time last year. She has 31 points on Saturday in a buzzer beater to beat Bronxville, which was awesome, right? So you're like, good, this girl has her moment. She goes out against Pearl River, and their relentless defense. and they're focusing on her. She puts up 21 points, which like most nights is like another 30-point game. To do that at Pearl River the way she did, so she's hung in there, man. And I just have to give her a shout because it is impressive. A lot. I don't want to say that a lot of girls would quit, but a lot of girls would have their head down. And she's going to finish strong. I don't know if ours is going to win another state championship, but she's going to fight down to the final buzzer.
Tremendous perseverance. She has great mental toughness. She competes on the floor. She's not going to allow her senior year to go downhill.
Yeah.
She's going to battle through, and she wants to have the best senior year she could possibly have, whatever that is. But she's going to make sure that there's no complacency and woe is me.
Well, this is something to think about too. It's like, how much do you think about like your peak is going to be your senior year. Your whole mind is built around like when I get to be seniors, my team gets to be seniors. Like we're going to peak as a team, we're going to peak as a program. It did it as a sophomore. It is junior, right? So those girls, they peaked. The program winning a state championship was the peak, and now it's like the pinnacle. And like, oh, you have your whole senior year to play now. And by the way, your other two girls are out. Like, so you got to do. And a lot of times, as I said, it's like that's tough because she knows it, and I think everyone knows it. Class A is incredibly competitive, and she's gonna play to the end until whatever that day is.
She's gonna play. She's gonna play to the last buzzer of the last game.
And listen, good for them if they had last year, because you never want to see someone out with injury. I don't care if they're the rival or not. Like it just sucks seeing good players sitting on the sideline, and for the two young girls in that team to have ACLs. And
she's got to feel like she's got to do it for them too a little bit, right? I mean, she owes it to them. They can't play.
There's no doubt about it. She has an obligation to her friends.
Yeah, and she's carrying that obligation. Like you said, most people might just put their head down. Well, you know what? It's whatever. I lost two players. We're not going to be that good. But her game shows that she's carrying that weight on her shoulders. Like, hey, you know what, guys? I got you.
Admirable. Very admirable.
Very admirable.
And Nick's not going to stop coaching them.
Nick Resby, no, he's definitely not. No.
Coach Resby's going to keep going. I got news for you. Yeah, don't think that he's going to stop now.
No, definitely not. All right, games to watch.
We got that. Now let's go to the KGG games to watch, brought to you by SportsEngine.
Yep, number 1 versus number 2 in bracketology, or number 1 versus number 3 in bracketology. North Rockland going to go on the road to Mount Vernon on Monday. Obviously, it's going to snow, so they're probably not going to play on Monday. So, but I think the way the season is now, I think they got to make this game up at some point in the next few days. So they might just push it to Tuesday. I also noticed that the Section 1 schedule has like days where there's like 2 games. So I think that's going to allow for reschedule. So if it's not played on Monday, which I don't suspect it'll be played on probably Tuesday or Thursday. North Rockland and Mount Vernon, same deal. Coach, this is a team that I've like kind of wanted to talk about. Edgemont, they're going to go on the road to Pleasantville on Monday. That game's on SportsEngine also. But they're an interesting team. They've played really well.
They are very, very good.
Yeah.
Very young, but very talented. And Max Ho, their senior point guard, has done a great job of leading them this year.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I need to have Edgemont in my gym. I don't need to go to Edgemont with those young kids, and they're all juiced up and ready to go, and that adrenaline flows, and they've got length, and they're skilled. The two twins, Kumar, they're really good.
Yeah, contested shots. I mean, I watched them play against Arsley for a little bit, and I was like, I'm so impressed with just the way that they were able to, kind of make shots against a defense that was out, closing out and working on. It was. They were good. They were really good.
Listen, I think led by Maxo, another Chris Ward basketball alumni.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Here we go.
Oh, we got a bell. Forget it.
We got a bell.
We got a bell.
We just keep ringing.
Bell for certain things. Yeah.
But I got to spend a lot of time with him and his family on the road when Sebastian played for you guys. And Max is just a phenomenal kid and a phenomenal ball player. Like he's always, I don't want to say even keel, but he always has his head on his shoulders while playing, no matter what we were facing. And it's fun to see that they're having a really good season.
I'm happy for him and his family that he's having a great senior year.
Speaking of Blind Brook, they're on the road at Woodlands, round 2 of their championship rematch and maybe championship preview for this season. Tough matchup going on the road to Woodlands, but this will make Blind Brook better, of course, in the long run. Nanuet at Pearl River. So Nanuet's they're kind of like Edgemont. They're a little bit of like the team that no one really talks too much about. They're a threat in Class A, and I did my predictions this week on game day 1 of my final 4 teams in each class. I didn't include Nanuet, and I walked out being like, I really should have, because Nanuet could easily go on the road and beat Pearl River.
Nanuet goes into Hastings and gets a really good win. Dave Masterson does a great job. His point guard, the lefty number 4, I can't remember, and 5 and 24. Those 3 kids match up with anybody in the section. And remember this, they almost got Tappan Zee twice.
Yeah.
They gave Tappan, it was 1 possession game both times. So Nanuet is a real danger and a real threat in class to do something.
Kai Vines, Fort Banton.
Yes.
They're really good.
They're very
Joe
good.
Montanaro.
And they share the ball, and their interior passing's outstanding.
No, totally. So that's the 4th game, and then our 5th game of the week. So Woodlands, what I love about Woodlands is that John Rappaport, he's playing the long game here. So he's going to play all the Class B teams on his schedule, and that's what ultimately he's got to beat in March. But he wants to challenge himself. So he went on the road to Tappan Zee last week. They had 28 points. I couldn't believe how good Tappan Zee played.
I watched that game tip off the buzzer.
That was nuts. And then, but they're going to get challenged again defensively against Rye. So Rye is on the, be hosting them on Friday night. It should be a great atmosphere as well next Friday. And of course, I didn't include this, but all 4 games tomorrow on SportsEngine. Saturday is the Coaches versus Cancer. So that's obviously a big event as well. So,
yes, fantastic.
On the girls' side, Ketchum's going to go to Tappan Zee. In a great matchup. Obviously, Ketchum's in Class AAA. TZ's gone from AA to A. Favorites that has beat YMA and what might have been the game of the year. That's on Monday. Obviously, probably going to be snowed out and rescheduled to a different date. Rye at Austin. Maybe another AA matchup. Maybe another potential County Center preview. Wednesday, Pleasantville Westlake. Good rivalry game. 2 teams that are kind of finding their way down the stretch.
Very, very intense rivalry. I know that firsthand in my household. What kind of rivalry that is.
Morris Catholic national program. I think this is the last national program. No, actually, Alberta's plays a variant as well, but high level program in the tri-state. Alberta's is going to host Morris Catholic from New Jersey on Thursday, and then next Friday, Tappan Zee, another Tappan Zee matchup, going to Suffern, which is one of my Class AA sleepers on the girls' side.
A lot of fun things to watch, and I agree. I think these games are going to get moved off Monday, which would be good. And the majority of the games are on SportsEngine, as all games should be. So before
ring the bell there. Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Right?
Ding, ding.
Exactly.
I have one more game of the week, and it's tonight. First team All-American Conference Player of the Year, Empire 8 Nazareth's 7th leading scorer all time on the men's side, Jalen Savage.
Oh, okay.
And Nazareth goes, Alexander Hamilton, great, goes to play Brandon Harris. Alexander Hamilton, all-time great, second team, all-conference player. They're playing each other tonight. So for Coach Keith Wright, myself, Next Level, and CWB, it is for first place in the Empire 8.
I have a great question for you, Coach, to wrap this show up. What is the most obscure basketball game you've watched in the last week? You're like me, so you sit at home and you're flipping through the channels, and so last night I watched, not obscure, I watched Iona win at the buzzer against Merrimack, obviously 2 great teams in the league. What games have you watched in the last week?
I watched the Bundesliga game of the week, the Frankfurt Skyliners versus Bayern Munich.
Did you really?
Yeah. So if you
So
want
you just
to,
we did not talk about that at all.
no.
I put you on the spot and you came up with that.
Yeah, I mean,
impressive.
that's that. And then I follow 4th Division Spanish League standings.
What's wrong with the first 3 divisions? Why
We got to work our way up.
we get relegated?
No. We're trying to real promotion. We got to get there first. So that's just personal interest.
I love it. And that's our show. Coaches, fans, everybody watching, thank you guys. Please continue to send us clips and information. We do have the wizard over here, Kevin Devaney, that brings all this data to us. However, he could always use some help. We could use some help. We want to promote you guys. We want to promote the kids. And yes, this show will not air until after the Coach for Cancer event that I'll be at tomorrow, and we're celebrating. It is our fundraiser of this month. So we're going to turn on the fundraising and keep it up to the end of the month.
Yeah, you can donate after, right?
You can donate after the event. It's a great event. Please help us hit that goal. Thank you. It's a wrap. Like and subscribe, share this, and keep sending us as much as you can about these kids that we can celebrate. And that's it. Episode 8's a wrap.